Baltimore City is actually flush with resources, but it's facing a number of challenges, one of them being the high school graduation rate. So how IMP, the Incentive Mentoring Program, deals with this is actually we pair students who are most at risk of failing out of high school with up to 10 family members who do whatever it takes to support the student. So this is part of our IMP program model, where they're additionally supported by a circle of resources that draw in resources from the outside community. So what it is at the center, though, is IMP students, so IMP families who do whatever it takes for the students, which includes driving them to school multiple days a week, which includes renovating houses. And what that gets us is actually, although the graduation rate in Baltimore City is low, we have a 97% high school graduation rate for all of our students. And we're often asked about, how do we actually function? And what we do is actually rethink wealth, which is related to what was just said. So we're now in multiple aspects of Baltimore, but we didn't just get here based on funding or based on the motivation of a few dedicated volunteers. What we have was based on ideas as a whole and encouraging people from everywhere in the organization to come up with ideas. So I joined actually as the president of IMP 5 months ago with Sarah Heminger, the founder, and I felt like I was lucky to become part of the biggest think tank in Baltimore. And we have over 400 volunteers from all aspects of Baltimore, or from all aspects of Hopkins and the surrounding community, these are people who are happy every single day to come up to you and tell you that you are doing it wrong, but that we can together do it better. And so we also get in, additionally, the buy-in of 79 students and their communities and their families all working together to improve the overall program and their communities. So that gets us 2 sites, one at Hopkins, East Baltimore, and Dunbar High School, and one at Homewood and Ace High School. And then we also get volunteers who are willing to dedicate up to 40 hours a week on top of being medical students, graduate students, and whatnot. And so this is, again, our program model where we actually bring in the outside community to deliver resources. And so in the outcome, so Baltimore is actually often portrayed as being very resource poor, but we don't think of it that way. We think of Baltimore as being incredibly resource rich. And so we have people who we treat actually as collaborators, not competitors. And what we do when we do that is we have people willing to come in and be pro bono lawyers. We have people delivering free college applications, and innumerable number of additional resources that we've gotten in basically as in-kind donations. So I also joined at the same time as being president of IMP as the Chief Innovations Officer, where I oversee the circle of resources who work to deliver resources from the community into the IMP families. And so each of these committees are actually overseen by directors, and they were founded by volunteer directors who sometimes, along with the 40 hours a week, like I said before, of working with IMP, are also medical students and graduate students. And all of these people work to deliver resources to the IMP families, where the focus is on the student, and so that they can customize solutions for each of the students. So the other important thing about this is that each of the families are made up to 10 family members who together, actually, when they get into the trenches and work together, actually really start to depend on each other as real family members. So what we get with that is, aside from the 97% high school graduation rate, we have 100% student retention, 97% college acceptance, 94% college matriculation, and over 90% of our volunteers are actually retained for at least 1 year. But the basis of all of these things are actually on the strength of a single relationship, that when you go after people and you bring people into your family. So before I was CIO, before I was president, I was just a 24-year-old graduate student who loved kids and loved science, but didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I joined IMP not just on a whim and not thinking that I was going to have any sort of time to devote to it at all. But I met Eddie, my IMP student, on the first day, and I ended up tutoring him every tutoring day for the rest of the school year. And I ended up having him over to play video games. And then going to do college applications with him, and then going to his high school graduation, and then going to move him into his college dorm. But that was not a one-sided relationship. For me, he was there at my thesis defense. And in him, I gained not just a mentee, but actually a friend and a brother. And so what you get is that my experience is not unique, and my experience is not unique. And that's what you get when you base your program on the strength of relationships.